I'm sure you've heard it before. Journaling is so good for you, and maybe you've even tried it before. You journal here and there, you journal whenever you have a bad day, but ultimately it just hasn't really stuck. So when I tell people that I've been journaling for 15 years and that I've been doing it every single day for 7 years now, they're like, what the heck? How is that even possible? Please tell me your secrets. And unfortunately, there's no one specific secret that's just gonna make it magically happen. But in today's video, I did want to break down some helpful tips on how to become that girl that journals. Starting off, you need to embrace the mindset of someone who journals consistently. So what does that exactly look like? Someone who journals consistently is someone that understands the benefits and the importance of doing it consistently. They understand the self-awareness that it allows you to build, the mental resilience that it can create, the accountability and discipline that it teaches you to have, just the overall positive impact it can have on personal development. I go over 15 different things that I've learned from my 15 total years of journaling in this video, so feel free to go watch that to help understand some of the benefits that journaling offers, just to help you promote and embrace that mindset of how journaling consistently can be so beneficial. Next, you want to find the right journal. You can choose any journal that works for you, big or small. It really doesn't matter. There's a lot of individual preferences when it comes to choosing a journal to write in, but personally I recommend trying to find one that has thicker pages just so that the ink doesn't bleed through as easily. And I also recommend trying to find a journal that's pretty durable so that it doesn't fall apart after using it over and over again. This over here is my stack of used journals, and I've clearly used quite the assortment of journals, so you really can't go too terribly wrong when it comes to picking out a journal. And I honestly don't even have a favorite journal or brand. Once you've picked your journal though, you want to explore different journaling styles. There's a ton of different ways that you can journal. You can write about your day, you can write about things you're grateful for, you can make a bulleted list of things on your mind. If you feel pressured to come up with things to write about on your own, you can try using journal prompts. I actually have a great video that I just uploaded with 31 different journal prompts that really stretch your mind to help you work on your self-development. You could do one prompt a day, you could do them every other day, you can do them every so often. All in all though, you can journal in whatever style works best for you, but don't be afraid to experiment with the different kinds of styles of journaling so that you can figure out what you like the most. It's also important to establish a routine. First, figure out how often you want to write. Personally, I'm biased to journaling every single day just because that's what I do. I feel like it's honestly just the easiest to keep track of when you do it once a day, because if you do it like once a week, it's really easy to just kind of forget about, and it's harder to build a habit when it's more spaced out. But honestly, do whatever works best for you, whether it's every day, every other day, a couple times a week, once a month. If you're completely new to journaling, it might be easier if you start by spacing it out a little bit and then gradually incorporating it more and more into your routine. You should also figure out when specifically you want to journal, and I don't just mean like every day or every other day, but I mean specifically what time, whether it's the first thing you do in the morning when you wake up, if you do it right before you go to bed, if you do it at 2 p.m. every Tuesday, if you only want to do it on the weekends, if you do it right when you get home from school or work. Having a specific routine is so crucial when trying to build the habit of journaling, because it really isn't that intuitive at first. It's hard to just like want to go journal if you're not used to doing it. So if you set out a specific time that you're going to do it, it's a lot easier to hold yourself accountable and to get used to journaling until it becomes more of a routine habit. Personally, I journal a lot in the evenings, but now that journaling is literally etched into my soul, I can really do it at any point during the day, and I always remember to do it, whether it's in the morning, in the middle of the day, at night. Setting alarms for yourself can also be really helpful. I do this a lot at nighttime, so I'll set an alarm to remind myself to journal before I go to bed, because when you're really tired at the end of the day, sometimes you have a one-track mind and it's to go to bed as quickly as you can, and so when you're not used to journaling, it can be really easy to forget about it. So setting an alarm can be really helpful in making sure that you don't forget. Also, I'm wanting to be better about journaling in the mornings too, just because I feel like those entries are so different than a nighttime journal entry, but I've also been saying I want to do that for like quite some time now and I still haven't, so maybe I'll just stick to nighttime. I don't know. On top of the routine, creating rules can be really helpful. Creating rules just basically gives you more of a structure to stick to, so it's more likely that you'll continue with your goal of journaling consistently. For example, one of my journaling rules is that I have to start my journal entry before midnight. That's also one of the reasons I like setting alarms at nighttime, because if midnight's approaching, then I will make sure to have an alarm at like 11:30 or 11:45 so that I can make sure to start my journal entry before midnight. Another rule for myself is that I always have to end my journal entry at the end of the page so that I'm able to start my next one at the top of the page without wasting any paper or room on the page. I also write a minimum of 1 page every day just because I feel like it would be really easy to write only a sentence if I was feeling really tired. Feel free to steal those rules if you like, but you don't need to use them if you don't like them. But overall, breaking down the big goal of journal into more specific little rules for yourself and goals to reach can make the big goal of journaling feel a lot more manageable. Now, the biggest thing to understand when it comes to journaling consistently is that it is such an individual individual experience. No two journals are created equal. Nobody's journal looks the exact same. Literally every single page of your journal alone could look totally different. I always say that the biggest rule to journaling is that there are no rules, which I know is kind of contradictory to what we were just talking about. So I guess I should say that there are no universal rules for journaling, because you truly can make it your own, and I encourage you to do so. Because what works for one person might not work for you, so you really should explore the different kinds of journaling, different ways to individualize it, and to truly curate it to what you like. You can write really big, you can write really small, you can add color, you can draw pictures, you can highlight different things, you can scribble all over the page, you can write stories, you can write things diagonally, you can try writing with your other hand, you can write upside down. It really doesn't matter. And also, if you're a perfectionist like me, I almost encourage you to try doing something a little crazy in your journal, because I feel like it can be a really freeing exercise to try to do. If you're wanting to create visual appeal in your journal entry, I totally recommend experimenting with color. You all know I love my color. I recently made a video too where I used color in my journal entry every single day for an entire month, and I did a flip through in that video to show basically how I incorporated color in each of those entries, just to give you guys some idea of how you can spice up your journal entries if you're wanting more of a visual, colorful appeal. I also have a ton of different journal with me videos on my channel, how I start some of my journals, how I end some of my journals, different ways I include color and just what I write about. So hopefully you can get some ideas from those videos. Also, if you're going to be journaling consistently or even just at all, I really encourage you to try incorporating some sort of reflection, gratitude, and or goal setting in your journaling. Journaling has a million bajillion benefits, but one of the biggest ones is that it's a place for inner and self-work. It can help you heal and grow in so many ways, so really push yourself to stretch your mind and focus on the emotional and mental benefits that journaling has to offer. Joining a journaling community of some sort or following different journaling accounts is really helpful in staying consistent as well. It's just a great way to keep you inspired and motivated, and it can give you a lot of ideas of different things that you can put into your journal. I love following different journaling accounts on Instagram so that I'm constantly being exposed to different kinds of content that aligns with how I want my life to look. It overall just serves as a really great motivator for wanting to journal. You could also subscribe to my YouTube channel and become a part of the journaling army. I make a lot of videos on journaling, obviously, and other videos like productivity and lifestyle content. And lastly, on the topic of motivation, someone that journals consistently knows that motivation does not determine the consistency of which they journal. With anything, you're not always going to want to journal all the time every single day. I love journaling probably more than a lot of people in this world, and there are still a lot of days that I don't really feel up for journaling, but ultimately it's going to come down to discipline and just understanding that the benefits that journaling has outweighs the lack of motivation that you're going to have some days and the energy that it takes to overcome that. Think of it like going to the gym. There are days where you don't want to work out, but regardless of your motivation to go to the gym, going and moving your body is ultimately so good for you. With journaling, instead of moving your body, it's moving your mind. There are going to be a lot of days where you don't want to journal because it's so much easier to just scroll on your phone, do nothing, not do that inner mental mind work. But pushing past that and having the discipline to follow through with what you say you're going to do, following through with actually journaling and moving your mind is going to be good for you regardless of whether or not the motivation is there. And that can be applied to any positive habit in life. If you're relying on motivation, you're going to fail. Unless you're just some really crazy, gifted, always motivated kind of person. But personally, I've yet to meet anybody who is like that. So all in all, just remember to keep discipline over motivation. Separate the want to do it from the decision to do it. If you decide you're going to do it, you're going to do it whether you want to or not. Thank you so much for watching today's video, and I hope you decide to join the journey of becoming a dedicated journaler. It truly, truly has shaped my life in so many ways, so I really hope that it can do the same for you. As always, give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to the Journaling Army if you haven't already, and I will see you all in my next video. Bye guys!